Good evening, Unanda. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022 to 2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, India's G20 presidency, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030. As part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India, Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, we are commemorating Global Iodine Deficiency Prevention Day, which is observed on every October 21st. So this day raises public awareness on the critical function iodine plays in human health. Iodine is a micronutrient that is required for appropriate thyroid function as well as for healthy growth and development. Early Chinese medical tests dating back to roughly 3600 BC were first to document the reduction in goiter size following consumption of seaweed and burnt sea sponge, according to historical records. Even though iodine has not yet been found, these medicines remain successful, and their use persisted throughout the world as attested in works by Hippocrates, Galen, and Roger in later centuries in the West. The discovery of the iodine happened by chance during the first half of the 19th century while extracting sodium salts for the use in production of gunpowder in 1811. Bernard Curtius, a French chemist, noticed an unusual purple vapor rising from seaweed ash treated with sulfuric acid. Gaspard Adolphe Chatin, a French chemist, was the first to publish the notion of population iodine deficit as a cause of endemic goiter, which was initially proposed in 1852. This was confirmed by Eugen Bornemann, who in 1896 published a paper describing the discovery of iodine with the thyroid gland. A goal to eliminate iodine deficiency by the year 2000 was set by world leaders during the 1990 World Summit for Children. As a result of this, countries such as India and China established their own national days for the prevention of iodine deficiency disorders. Countries from all across the world have also thrown their support behind this initiative and found ways to ensure their citizens get iodine. So, Egan Bowman confirms that the discovery of iodine within the thyroid gland in 1896, and researchers realized that iodized salt is key to people consuming iodine and begin the commercialization of iodized salt in 1924. The World Health Organization takes steps to reduce deficiency of iodine around the world. In 1980s, intervention techniques, the adoption of the use of universal salt iodization as a major intervention technique for controlling iodine deficiency disorders. So how can iodine deficiency be prevented? Food and water supplies at a community level can be made to contain iodine to avoid iodine deficiency disorders. Salt iodization is a common method for achieving this. Alternatives in underdeveloped countries are periodic injections of iodized supplements. So why salt is iodized? This is because one of the most cost-effective, time-tested and reliable ways to ensure adequate iodine intake, which is through salt fortification. So foods that should be avoided who are iodine deficient people who are taking supplements or who are predisposed to iodine deficiency should avoid or limit their consumption of soy products, bok choy, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, mustard greens, and turnips because these foods contain thiocyanates which interfere with the thyroid gland's ability to absorb iodine. So iodine is important for everyone. On this day, you can take time out to learn more about this importance and educate everyone about it. Book an appointment to check your thyroid levels. This is especially important if you are experiencing any symptoms of low iodine levels. If you can donate to some of the organizations fighting against iodine deficiency, you can also encourage other people to do so. 1/3 of the world population suffers from an iodine shortage, with over 2 billion individuals globally suffering from this insufficiency. There are several sources of iodine in fish, including cod and tuna, shrimp and seaweed, and dairy products. Iodized salt is one of the best sources of incorporating iodine into your diet. Iodine intake for adults should be 150 mcg, while for pregnant women, it should be 220 mcg. Affected regions, iodine insufficiency is more prevalent in the Western Pacific, Southeast Asia, and Africa than everywhere else in the world. So it can begin even before a child is born. It prevents iodine-related complications in children, as prevention is more important. So putting children's mental and physical health at risk, and in some cases their lives, iodine shortage during pregnancy can also lead to stillbirth, spontaneous abortions, and congenital abnormalities, including cretinism, some of which are extremely dangerous. Lack of iodine can cause several health problems such as goiter, visual, auditory, and phonological impairments, hypothyroidism, neuromuscular impairments, intrauterine death, and so on. Adequate knowledge of the importance and impact of iodine can go a long way in preventing complications relating back to iodine. Benefits of iodine, it is important to note that thyroid hormones affect every cell in the human body as well as the development of cells. Other functions of thyroid hormones include regulating bone growth, aiding in brain development, and increasing metabolic rate. Today is also commemorated as International Raw Milk Cheese Appreciation Day. International Raw Milk Cheese Appreciation Day takes place on 3rd Saturday in October, which is on October 21st this year, appreciates the delectable taste and texture of raw milk cheese to celebrate. So how is raw milk cheese different from any other cheese? Raw milk cheese is made from organic and unprocessed milk, while most industry manufactured cheese is made from pasteurized milk and contains preservatives. The industry-grade preservation process does kill the microbes, but also kills the unique flavors. Though everyone will agree, killing microbes is more important than some flavors or textures. The biome present in the milk consists of both good and bad bacteria. When preparing raw milk cheese, skilled artisans can strike a balance so that we can enjoy the best of both worlds. The exact origin of this cheese cannot be carved out, though some evidence shows that it was discovered around 8000 BC. When goats and sheep began to be domesticated, it is safe to assume that the discovery must have been an accident. When the milk was left aside for a long time, a tangy and sour-tasting curdled milk must have emerged as a first cheese. Over the years, the art of cheese making was perfected by artisans across the globe, but there has been instances when bad cheese has caused a catastrophe. So when the process of pasteurization was discovered, the government was quick to mandate it to prevent loss of life from milk products gone bad. Most preservation processes either use artificial preservatives or heat to kill the bacteria in the milk. These processes ensure that the cheese produced is safe, but also robs it in the distinct flavors that the little organisms are capable of rendering during fermentation. Preservation techniques are also employed during the production of raw milk cheese, but they are tailored not to follow the typical methods of mass-producing industries. International Raw Milk Cheese Appreciation Day was started by Old Ways Cheese Coalition in 2015 to celebrate the flavor, diversity, and history of raw milk cheese. Old Ways Cheese, a group of producers and retailers of raw milk cheese, advocates its preservation across the world. So cheese is discovered around 8000 BC. Pasteurization is discovered by Louis Pasteur, who discovers the process of killing microbes in milk by heating it in 1862. The Food and Drug Administration mandates the pasteurization of all milk products with a few exceptions in 1987. International Raw Milk Cheese Appreciation Day is established in 2015 by Old Ways Cheese Coalition. So is raw milk cheese safe? Yes, when prepared with care and hygiene, raw milk cheese can be safe as pasteurized cheese, if not more. How long does raw cheese last in the fridge? At least 7 days after opening, and most hard cheeses can stay up to 3 to 4 weeks. Is mozzarella a raw cheese? The FDA requires that all producers making mozzarella in the United States use pasteurized and not raw milk. So cook, dine in, or take out a cheesy meal. Make sure it's only raw milk cheese on your plate today. Take help from your neighborhood cheesemonger or go onto a tour to Fromagerie to find out your favorite raw milk cheese. It is bound to be an exciting experience. So raw milk cheese, the natural color of raw milk cheese is off-white or a light yellow. Raw milk cheese is complete protein, also containing fat, carbohydrates, multiple vitamins, and minerals. Making 1 pound of cheese requires about 10 pounds of milk. So caves, known as cheese caves, are used for the proper aging of the cheese. Individuals with lactose intolerance can consume cheese. So raw milk cheese with its plethora of good bacteria maintains a healthy gut bio and improves digestion. The raw milk cheese making process is majorly manual. It is done by artisans who make the perfected process over years and decades. Fries, toast, and even broccoli take a turn for delicious heaven when dipped in cheese. See what else you can add it to the day. Today is also commemorated as International Sloth Day in US. So hang out and celebrate International Sloth Day, which takes place on third Saturday in October, on October 21st this year. Sloths are slow-moving mammals, often found in Central and South America. The two major types are two-toed or three-toed sloths. Although sloths look like some kind of funny bear monkey, their closest relatives are anteaters and armadillos. The international holiday was first created by the foundation AIUNAU, a program dedicated to the conservation and rehabilitation of wildlife in Colombia. So AIUNAU first started working with sloths in 1996 and has worked to promote their cause ever since. Per AIUNAU, there is a lot that sloths can teach us: respect, tenderness, joy. Sloths spend their lives in the tropical rainforest. They move slowly, covering about 40 yards per day. It's very slow. Munching on leaves and twigs, sloths have exceptionally low metabolic rate and spend 15 to 20 hours per day sleeping. These long-armed animals are also excellent swimmers. According to the World Wildlife Fund, there are two types of sloths, two-toed and three-toed, and a total of 6 species. These are pygmy three-toed sloth, maned sloth, pale-throated sloth, brown-throated sloth, Linnaeus two-toed sloth, Hoffman's two-toed sloth. Their health depends on our tropical rainforests, which remain at risk. The World Wildlife Fund works with communities, governments, and companies to encourage sustainable forestry. Without them, sloths will lose their shelter and food source. Unfortunately, when sloths periodically venture to the forest floor, they can do little to protect themselves from predators. That's partially due to the fact that their limbs are adapted only after hanging and grasping. Not for supporting their weight, muscles make up only 25 to 30% of the total body weight compared to 40 to 45% for other mammals. Animal traffickers pose yet another threat despite the fact that sloths do not make for good pets. So Thomas Jefferson was involved in the discovery of an extinct sloth species. He received a gift fossil from a friend and submitted a research paper in 1804. Smithsonian curator Remington Kellogg found a substance at the Grand Canyon that turned out to be a 100,000-year-old sloth fecal matter. This sample has since allowed researchers to learn about past diet and give insight into the environment in which they lived in 1941. So researchers found sloth fossils of a coastal desert in Peru and discovered they belonged to a group of sloths called Thalassonas, who were semi-aquatic and lived alongside whales and crocodiles in 1995. The oldest known sloth alive turned 50 at German Zoo. The two-toed sloth named Paula first arrived in 1971. Oddly enough, zoo staff thought that Paula was male for over 20 years. They only discovered she was female in 1995 following an ultrasound in 2019. So make a donation to your favorite life wildlife organizations, sloths need all the support we can and give them the face of poachers and other threats. According to Travel and Leisure, sloths can swim 3 times faster than they can walk on land. And because of their ability to slow their heart rates to one-third its normal rate, they can also hold their breath for a whooping 40 minutes underwater. So, are sloths good pets? No. As per National Geographic report, sloths require a specialized diet, a constantly warm and humid environment, and need to spend a lot of time suspended from high branches. They are not suitable to have at home. So enjoy National Sloth Day by spending a lazy hour watching movies with sloths in them. The list includes Zootopia, The Croods, and any Ice Age film. So because sloths have a slow metabolic process, they usually only relieve themselves once per week. They are slow. And sloths are arboreal animals, meaning they spend most of their lives in trees, just hanging around. A sloth's fur hosts a vast ecosystem of moths, bugs, and algae, which taints their fur green and is used as camouflage in the trees. Three-toed sloths are able to turn their heads nearly 360 degrees. When sloths survive possible poachers and captors, they live anywhere between 10 to 30 years. It is nearly impossible to look at sloths and not gush. Their fur is thick and soft, and their eyes are big pools of warmth. From their casual vibe to the permanent smiles, they beam beauty. They are downright adorable. Sloths have their moments, but they are so mesmerizing to watch as they rest in the trees, stay serene for what seems like an eternity. It's no wonder sloths are so popular, are master of Zen. Although sloths have peaceful demeanors, wild sloths can be aggressive and bite very hard. If caught by a predator on land, you are likely to hear a sloth hissing or shrieking. Visitors at a sloth nursery should not get too close. Today is also commemorated as Sweetest Day in US. So today is a sweet by sharing a kind thought, a small gift, or a gesture of kindness. It is a day to give a card or with a sweet message or to someone you appreciate. Little gifts of candy and other sweets are shared as well. So Sweetest Day is always observed on the third Saturday of October, meaning this year it is on October 21st. So it hails from all the way back in 1992 when a dozen of Cleveland's candy companies banded together to make this day a little sweeter for some of the city's most vulnerable people. They distributed more than 20,000 boxes of candy to new boys, orphans, old folks, and the poor. The idea caught on with movie celebrities during the early days of the talkies. Starlets like Teda Bara, who has known as a bad girl of the film, was often seen distributing candy to the people attending movies or plays, as well as giving treats to patients in hospitals. Eventually, the idea of Sweetest Day as a vehicle for promoting smiles and good vibes took solid root in the country's midsection. Areas like Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio really fused the meaning of the day with good, old-fashioned Midwestern values like honesty and caring for neighbors. So Sweetest Days are now almost synonymous with Valentine's Day. Folks give flowers, small gifts, love trinkets, and of course candy to those they care about the most. But Sweetest Day also has the added emphasis on helping those in need with materialistic gifts as well as giving moral support to those who may not have the easiest lives. Every little bit helps, and it's something to remember on one of the sweetest days. Today is also commemorated as Police Commemoration Day in India. It is a day to pay tribute to the martyrs who have sacrificed their lives in the line of duty. It is also a day to express gratitude to the officers and the families of those who continue to serve and protect us every day. Due to incidents during 1958 and 59, the relationship between India and China was changing. There was political and geographical issues that escalated, creating a turmoil between the countries. On October 21st, 1959, it is believed that China initiated its first attack on India in the Aksai Chin region. The People's Liberation Army allegedly attacked the Intelligence Bureau and Central Reserve Police Force CRPF, killing 10 men and taking 7 as prisoners. As per the official accounts from the time, 3 reconnaissance parties were launched from Ladakh the day before as part of an Indian expedition to Lanakla. However, only 2 of these parties returned. The following morning, a party of 20 personnel consisting of people from Intelligence Bureau and CRPF was led to DCIO Sri Karam Singh to search for the missing party. They moved on horseback while all the personnel followed on foot. Around midday, the Chinese army opened fire and threw grenades at the Singh's party, which was without cover. The attack led to the death of 10 and capturing of 7 and injuries to the remaining men who fortunately managed to escape. It was only after a 3 full weeks that Chinese handed over the bodies of the martyrs to the nation. They were then cremated with proper police honors in the hot springs in Ladakh. Along with the widespread rage that swept the country, there was also overwhelming gratitude for the brave soldiers who had fought until then. At the annual conference of Inspectors General of Police of States and United Territories in January 1960, October 21st was declared as Commemoration Day, Police Commemoration Day. So the National Police Memorial is located at the crest of Shantipat in Chanakyapuri, New Delhi, India. So if possible, watch the Police Commemoration Day parade on television or the internet. It is a great way to pay tribute to the martyrs from home. If you are in the area, plan a visit to the National Police Memorial erected in New Delhi, India. It is a way to remember and honor the gallant men who serve. There are organizations that help the families of martyrs, especially those who lost their breadwinners. So you can donate to these organizations to extend support. The bigger the mustach, the better. Officers with bigger mustachs in Madhya Pradesh are paid more since they are believed to have better command. There are only 130 cops for every 1 lakh people, a skewed ratio. According to a National Crime Records Bureau report, Mumbai has the highest number of police suicides in India. The job can take a hefty toll. As an initiative to make kids less afraid of the people, a non-governmental organization in Delhi organizes children's football games with the police. So friends through football. Since India can get dusty, old British officers dyed their white uniforms to hide their dust marks. That is how the khaki uniform originated. So as we go on, we must also remember those who have sacrificed their lives to protect us and ensure our future. These brave officers may not be with us anymore, but their memories must live on us. It is a reminder to be grateful the gallant officers who risk their lives to serve and protect are nothing less than heroes. This day reminds us to express gratitude not only to them, but also to their families who make their own set of sacrifices. A day like this keeps us rooted in the history and reminds us the ebbs and flows that led to the present. No matter the fight, officers risk their lives to serve and protect the nation, and we must not take it for granted. Today is also commemorated as Full Party or Fool Party, which is the seventh day of Dashain, that is the biggest Hindu festival in Nepal. And this year it falls on 21st. The day is marked by honoring goddess Durga with 9 types of Fool Party, that is petals of flowers. This day celebrates the auspicious uncovering of the truth over falsehoods and divinity over terror. As per the Hindu mythology, the 9 plants represent the arrival of goddesses in the homes of the devotees. Hindu followers across the country decorate their homes with garlands and pray for a prosperous future under the guidance of goddess Durga. Darshan, one of the most auspicious festivals in Nepal, spans over 15 days, locally pronounced as Dasai. The festival is commonly known as Vijayadashmi in India and is celebrated by Hindus around the world. The most auspicious of all 15 days are the 1st, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 15th days. The Nepali Hindus celebrate Pool Party on the 7th day of Dashain. That story of Dashain is about the triumph of goddess Durga over the demon Mahishasur. Over 10 days, the war waged between the two ended with the victory of goddess Durga. So the day is marked by a joyous celebration across the country. The young children of the house dress up in a new attire, and the kitchens were rung up with one delicacy after the other. Elders of the home prepare for the Pool Party Puja, in which petals from 9 different flowers are showered on the goddesses as they make their way to the homes of the devotees. On the eve of Pool Party, Nepal's capital witnessed one of the most important ceremonies of the year. A cannon is fired from the Chandikil, one of the largest grounds of Kathmandu, as Brahmins carry the royal kalash stuffed with banana stalks, holy jamna leaves, and sugar cane from the devotees to sea. Offices across the nation of Nepal remain closed on the main days of the festival. Families get together to celebrate the day. So Pool Party is one of the most important days of Dashain. Devotees honor the goddess by inviting them to their homes with flower petals and worshipping them for a healthy and wealthy and prosperous future. Pool Party is celebrated on the 7th day of Dashain, a 15-day long festival that usually befalls somewhere between September and October. Dashain in Nepal is celebrated in the honor of goddess Durga's victory over Mahishasura, whereas Tihar, Diwali, is observed to commemorate the victory of Lord Rama over Ravana. Every year, a grand ceremony takes place at the Tundikel grounds in Kathmandu. A kalash pot filled with freshly sprouted holy jamara, sugarcane, and banana stalks are tied with a red cloth and brought to the Kathmandu Valley by the Brahmins. The event is witnessed by the President of Nepal and the entire government body and is live streamed on the internet. So dal bath is one of the most popular dishes in Nepal, as astonishingly healthy combination of steamed rice and cooked lentils It is fairly easy to make and can be seasoned as per your preference. Mark the day of Fool Party by enjoying bowls of dal bath and getting a deeper knowledge of cuisine of Nepal. On Fool Party, plant some seedlings in your backyard and await the reap of fruits of your labor in due season. Fool Party celebrates the sprouting of the holy Jamra seedlings that are planted at the beginning of Dashain. The fresh crop is later used in the ritual. The festival is a celebration of the birth of new things propelled by our efforts and the grace of nature that surrounds us. Nepal has the highest concentration of UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the smallest area, totaling 50. It is the cultural museum of the world. Nepal boasts of some thrilling adventures, including paragliding, white water rafting, high altitude marathons, kayaking, bungee jumping, and mountaineering. Despite Hinduism being the national religion of the country, more than 80 ethnic groups coexist peacefully in Nepal. Nepal, the formal home of Lord Shiva, is also famous for world-class quality wheat growing in almost all corners of the country. Nepal, the adobe of lakes and with many sources of fresh water, consistently suffers from droughts due to disproportionate distribution of the resource. So the festival of Dashain is one of the best times of the to be in Nepal. Fun fairs, mela, eateries, and clothing pop-ups are open across the towns and cities in the country, and people splurge on shopping and experiences. Communities come together for weeks of frolic. Trains and buses run full as people from all over the country travel to their hometowns to be with their families. So it's a day to make merry. Millions of Nepali Hindus enjoy the joyous festival with their families. Homes are decorated with garlands and special lighting, and feasts are prepared on all 15 days of the Dashain. The day of Fool Party in particular is celebrated with unparalleled fervor by people of all generations. Dashain begins with the ritual of sowing seeds on the first day of the festival, that is Gatastapana. By the seventh day, the seeds take sapling and grow as grass as holy Jamara, which makes the day of Fool Party. This is celebration of turn of the season and is a symbolization of how the seeds we sow today beget fruits we shall reap tomorrow. Today is also commemorated and celebrated as Mahasaptami in India and across the world. Mahasaptami is celebrated every year on the seventh day of the waxing moon, called Shukla Paksha, in the Hindu calendar month of Ashvina, which falls on October 21st this year. The Mahapuja great ceremony starts on the Mahasaptami. There is Durga Puja, a Hindu festival that takes place with the great fanfare and celebrates the 10-armed goddess and her victory over the evil buffalo demon, Mahishasura. India celebrates a 10-long-day Durga Puja festivals with great enthusiasm and spirit. Mahasaptami is day 7 of that festival, and Saptami means 7 in Sanskrit. The Mahapuja of the Durga Puja begins on the day of Mahasaptami. It is said that the battle between goddess Durga and demon king Mahishasura began on this day and ended on Vijayadashmi, the 10th day and the last day of Durga Puja festival, with the victory of goddess over the demon. There is another legend surrounding the celebration of this day. It is believed that Lord Rama prayed to goddess Durga before his battle with the demon king Ravana, who abducted his wife Sita. This puja had to be done with 100 blue lotus flowers. However, Lord Rama could only find 99. To complete the puja, he plucked out his own blue eye and offered to the goddess in the place of missing lotus. Goddess Durga was pleased with his devotion and showered him with her blessings, which helped him win against Ravana. This battle happened on the day 7 of the month of Ashvina. So during this festive season, Durga Puja has traditional rituals associated with it, such as Navapatrika, where nine plants are bathed in the river Ganges before the sun rises. These nine plants are turmeric, bale, ashoka, jayanti, pomegranate, banana, paddy, colocasia, and arun. The second ritual is Mahasnan, where a mirror is treated as the personification of the goddess Durga and is given a ritual bath. The last ritual is Prana Pratishtha, where a pot filled with holy water and covered with a coconut surrounded by 5 mango leaves is placed in front of the idol of the goddess, followed by chanting divine hymns. In the end, the goddess is worshipped using 16 special items. So the first historic record of Mahasaptami celebrations is found in West Bengal in India, which is a recorded one. But beyond that, also a lot of celebrations happened since thousands and thousands of years. So as per the written historic record, it is 1500s. And the first Durga Puja in Delhi, a group of expatriate Bengalis organized the first community Durga Puja event in Delhi near Kashmir Gate in 1910, which is recorded. The tallest idol, an 88 feet Durga Puja idol, is made in Kolkata, West Bengal and placed at Deshapriya Park in 2015. Adorning with silver jewelry in 2019, 1797 pandals in Cuttack, Odisha, India, bedeck respective sculptured idols with silver jewelry for Durga Puja celebration in 2019. So Maha means great and Saptami means 7th day. So it is the 7th day of the waxing phase of the moon in Ashwin month during Durga Puja. The traditions of Mahasaptami include a Maha Puja, which is done to the worship of goddess Durga, which is also known as Durga Puja. The Mahasaptami Durga Puja begins with a holy bath of 9 plants that are bunched together. This is invoked as goddess Durga in the river. This worship ritual is known as Navapatrika. After this, she is respectfully placed on a pedestal that is embellished with ornaments and is graced with flowers, sandalwood paste, and incense sticks. So Durga Puja is celebrated widely in India and the Indian diaspora across the globe. Attend a Durga Puja festival and immerse yourself. Immerse yourself in the spirit of harmony and peaceful energies. Soak in culture and see the celebrations of a goddess. Durga Puja is victory of good over evil. Take this day to reflect and fight your inner demons. Let go of bad thoughts and negatively allow positivity into your life. You can visit a local temple and worship goddess Durga. If not, you can simply say a prayer at home and seek divine blessings and guidance in overcoming obstacles and keeping goddess Durga in mind. Mahasaptami is the first day of Durga Puja and the 7th day of 10-day rituals. Mahasaptami is part of Durga Puja celebrations, which are celebrated largely in Indian states, especially in West Bengal, Assam, Tripura, Odisha, and Sikkim, in a grand manner. Mahasaptami has the 3 main rituals: the bathing ritual of 9 plants, bathing of the mirror, which reflects goddess Durga, and the worshipping with the goddess with 16 special items. Navapatrika is a ritual that worships 9 different leaves that are known to represent the 9 forms of goddess. Goddess Kali is also known as Kalratri, who is another form of goddess Shakti. So Mahasaptami, which is the first day of Durga Puja festival that is celebrated with much fervor in some Indian states and across India and across the world. People gather on the streets in large numbers and come together to take part in the religious festival. It gives people a platform to come together and be a community. Mahasaptami celebrates women empowerment in all its glory. According to the scriptures, Goddess Parvati gave up her golden avatar to kill the Asuras, Shumba and Nishumba. This is known as Kalratri. Mahasaptami is when Goddess Kali defeated the demon Shumba, Nishumba. It is a sign of victory over evil. It shows how the good will always prevail over the bad, as we should keep fighting for what it is right. It is a celebration of victory over evil. Today is also commemorated as African American Frog Day in US. American Frog Day takes place on different days every year at different locations in the country, depending on the person choosing to host the festivities. This day aims to celebrate, share information, and organize get-togethers for everyone interested in the captive breeding and the study of poison dart frogs and other amphibians. This event is not only important for the people who keep poison dart frogs and other amphibians as a hobby, but also for people who want to study them for scientific purposes. The event is also a fundraiser for conservation efforts and is a great place to discover educational opportunities in related fields. Today is also commemorated as Armed Forces Day in Honduras. Takes place every year on October 21st. It's a date set to reflect on the importance of country's military forces, first established in 1825. Throughout the 1900s, the Honduran army was heavily involved in political life, as military leaders commonly became high chiefs of state and even presidents, whether through elections or popes. After the 1982 Constitution was signed and Honduras first saw a period of uninterrupted democratic governments for over 20 years, the role of armed forces changed slightly. However, they still wield significant political power. Today is also commemorated as Back to the Future Day in US. Back to the Future is a 1985 sci-fi classic that grossed nearly 400 million worldwide. In the original film, there are various plot twists and turns, but what really makes this film worthy of its own honorary day is a vision of early prototypes of today's tech, like large flat screens, virtual reality, eyewear, video conferencing, computer tables, and biometric scanners, and etc. So Back to the Future is required viewing for nearly every science fiction fan and continually holds up as a fun, energetic jaunt through time and with some memorable characters, and truly catch phrases so that October 21st pop in the film say great spot. Today is also commemorated as Bridge Day in US. If you are an adventure lover, extreme sports addict, or an adrenaline junkie, you will love the Bridge Day. The third Saturday of October every year, falling on October 21st this year. Despite what the name implies, Bridge Day isn't a day to celebrate the architectural beauty of bridges all around the world. Bridge Day is a festival that held in Fayetteville, West Virginia in the United States, where thousands of adventurers Adventure lovers either watch or take part in various extreme sports that largely involve jumping off the New River Gorge Bridge. About 1 lakh people arrive at Fayette County on the third weekend in October every year to take part in the Bridge Day festivities. The New Year Gorge Bridge Day Commission organizes the event and closes the bridge to automobiles for the event. Today is also commemorated as celebration of the Mind Day on the birthday of famous mathematician Martin Gardner, developed by the Gathering for Gardner Foundation Celebration of Mind, in short known as COM, is meant to unite people for the day to explore puzzles, games, maths, and magic. Even if math is not your thing, the day has got something fun in store for you. Martin Gardner was a well-known American writer, polymath, and a mathematician. A mathematician who is also a magician. Throughout his life, he pioneered recreational mathematics, authored over 100 books across a wide range of topics, and introduced audiences to subjects they had never ever heard before, such as Soma Cube, Flexagons, and the Game of Life. His work garnered millions of readers and fans across the globe. Gardner made a huge impact on the field of mathematics, and his writings directly or indirectly inspired many people who went on to have careers in mathematics and science. His admirers include prominent individuals including W.H. Auden, Carl Sagan, and Isaac Asimov, to name a few. After his passing in 2010, his friends and fans started to host COM events on or around his birthday on October 21st. Spread out all over the world, these celebration events have ranged from gatherings of the thousands to smaller, tight-knit groups, all with the purpose to enjoy what Gardner introduced them to. These events include activities that inspire and awe the participants, such as logic puzzles, magic illusions, and visual paradoxes. Overall, the aim of COM is to encourage and invite people to enjoy puzzles, games, math, and magic through various activities. With this in mind, the Gathering for Gardner Foundation declared October 21 as celebration of the Mind Day. Today is also commemorated as Count Your Buttons Day. Buttons can be defined anywhere from everywhere, from shirts to jackets to pants. They also come in various shapes, sizes, colors. Counting your buttons can be fun and practical activity. It was in 1200s in Europe that people started using buttons to attach pieces of fabric. Later, with 19th century industrial revolution, machines took over the manufacturing of buttons, making them more slick and crisp, and most importantly, in larger quantities, and soon became affordable to the most. Buttons gained popularity in 20th century. Their demand as well as their production increased, making their way into every home today. Buttons gained popularity in 20th century. Their demand as well as their production increased, making their way into every home Today, buttons are found in many clothing items that are fundamental and that are functional and aesthetic. Today is also commemorated as Ethnicity Day in Estonia. This year, it takes place on October 21st. The day aims to better inform the public of Estonia, with the country being a member of Finno-Ugric nations, to value their origin, cultural heritage, and language. Estonia's land includes about 15,000 islands and islets. Ethnicity Day is a day dedicated to Estonia's unique language and cultural identity and national culture, and the day when Estonians Today is also commemorated as Everyone's Writers' Day in UK. Everyone Writes Day is celebrated in the UK on October 21st. Although, if a school can't manage this date, they are encouraged to celebrate on the day that is most convenient to them. It could even coincide with Science and Engineering Week, Arts Week, or Summer Fair. Primary and secondary schools charge the curriculum for one whole day to celebrate writing in its all forms. Every pupil and staff member gets to enjoy writing, including catering stuff, site. Today is also commemorated as Honduran Army Day in Honduras, where the population of Honduras pay tribute to the country's military personnel, a celebration that is observed in many nations, honoring their servicemen and women in a nation's way, saying thank you. And there is value in the commitment of the safety. The day is marked by local celebrations and a massive military parade in the country's capital. It is an important day for the country. It is past and recent. Day is also commemorated as Loud Shirt Day in New Zealand, dedicated to raising awareness across New Zealand about children with hearing disabilities and impairment. There are only two major charities in New Zealand that have taken on the responsibility for managing children who are deaf or hard to hearing. So Loud Shirt Day is dedicated to raising awareness across New Zealand about children with hearing disabilities and impairment. There are only two major charities in New Zealand that can have taken on the responsibility of managing children who are deaf or hard of hearing. The Hearing House and the Southern Cochlear Implant Program, Loud Shut Day in the Hearing House and the Southern Cochlear Implant Program, Loud Shift Day in New Zealand, is the annual fundraising event from which charities are raising as much funds needed to continue and contribute the management, rehabilitation of children who are deaf. Today is also commemorated as National Apple Day in US. It reminds us to appreciate the apple in its myriad forms. On October 21st, pick out favorite variety, try a new kind of apple. Studies have shown that earliest known wild apple trees cropped up in regions of Central Asia anywhere between 10 and 20 million years ago. Though initially its flavor skewed towards sour, apple trees would evolve to produce sweetener. Today is also commemorated as National Archives Day in Philippines. The National Archives of Philippines is the country's official repository for public documents and archives, where they are kept, conserved, and made available to the general public for research and study. Following former President Fidel V. Ramos' proclamation number 660 of 1995, this day is observed as a proclamation. A total of around 60 million records from centuries of Spanish control in the Philippines, as well as the American and Japanese occupations and the Republic years, are housed at the National Archives of the Philippines. It also serves the country's final archive for the vast number of notarized documents. Today is also commemorated as National Check Your Meds Day in US. It is sponsored by the National Community Pharmacist Association, prompts consumers to bring their prescriptions to their local pharmacist for review. Pharmacists can remove any prescriptions that have expired, update prescriptions as necessary, and answer consumer questions. If nothing else, it's rare for consumers to get free medical advice. There has been always a distraction between those who directly work with ill patients and those who create pharmaceutical remedies. Pharmacists originally went to the title apothecaries and are even found in Greek mythology, where Asclepius, who was a god of healing, gave Hygeia to the duty to compound his remedies. In ancient Egypt, the medical profession was split into two classes: the ones who visited the sick, the ones who prepared antidotes. In 1683, the City Council of Bruges made it illegal for physicians to both visit and prepare medications for their patients. Later on, the new country of America, Benjamin Franklin assigned an apothecary of the Pennsylvania Hospital, furthering the distinction between two specializations. Today is also commemorated as National Fetch Day in US. A chance to get out in the yard and get some exercise and build some memories. Fetch may be one of the oldest bonding activities between dogs and their humans. So this year, Check It bringing the celebration across the country in partnership of Check It's favorite restaurant and dog-friendly pub partners, all rocking it and outfitted with Check It, Fetch Park stuffed with great Check It gear and a few other surprises, your little fetch buddy. So go support your local pet, and it's a perfect way to fuel up before heading outside to the play fetch with your dog. Fetch may be a game played between a dog and his human, but it has its roots tens and thousands of years ago, and the game being played was survival. Recent science indicates that the first dogs were domesticated by humans sometime between 18,000 and 32 years ago. Their wolf ancestors slowly progressed from hunting competitors into a hunting partners, leading to their general domestication as pets over the millennia. Today is also commemorated as National Pets for Veterans Day in US. It all started with a dog named Bear. Bear was quite the ham and knew how to interact differently based on individual needs of the veterans. He would lie quietly on the bed if needed or put his paws on up to encourage others. This led many veterans to ask if you could take Bear home with them. Bear's owners thought, why is therapy 1 hour a week inside when it could be 24/7 at home? Since Bear was spoken for, his owner thought he could help more veterans find their own bear to help them rehabilitate. To spread the word, we are celebrating bear and all other service animals on October 21st. Today is also commemorated as National Pumpkin Cheesecake Day in US. Cheesecakes can be dated as far back as 5th century BC, when the ancient Greeks made the earliest form of cheesecake. This essentially consisted of cheese pounded with honey and flour and cooked on old-timely griddle. It was known as a placus, meaning a flat mass. Today is also commemorated as National Reptile Day and National Reptile Awareness Day in US. Godzilla, Raptor, Yoshi, the Gecko, those two lizards that always hang out around your back porch. There are just a few famous reptiles we love, but on October 21st, we celebrate all of our cold-blooded friends. This day is observed to educate and raise awareness of the threats to the natural habitats that our reptilian companions rely on to survive. While the history of reptiles may go hundreds of millions of years back, National Reptile Awareness Day has an unfortunately short history in comparison. Additionally, it wasn't really until 1966 when the first Endangered Species Act was passed that that awareness of the needs and threats facing reptiles or any animal for that matter started to make its way into our cultural mainstream. So it is a perfect day for squamish and admirers alike to appreciate the role these creatures play in our ecosystem. We celebrate these reptiles on October 21st, where fans takes time to educate others and about habitat loss, conservation programs, and the importance of keeping reptiles off the endangered list. Spend some time holding and interacting with reptiles, perhaps at a pet shop where snakes, frogs, or lizards are just a car ride away. Contribute to the programs designed to protecting endangered species. Many reptiles are still hunted for their use in leather or to meet consumer demands, or in several regions, this type of hunting is a big problem. There are 4 orders of species: the Crocodilia, crocodiles, alligators, etc., the Chauchara, lizard-like, the Squamata, include lizards and snakes, and testudines, turtles, tortoise, and terrapins. The majority of all reptiles are considered ectothermic, meaning they rely on their environments to regulate their internal body temperature. The majority of all reptiles are considered ectothermic, meaning they rely on their environments to regulate their internal body temperature, reproductive health, immune system functioning, and daily stamina. One of the largest reptiles on record is the saltwater chronicle, which can measure over 12 feet long and weigh more than 1,000 pounds. One of the largest reptiles on the record is the saltwater crocodile, which can measure over 12 feet long and weigh more than 1,000 pounds. All reptiles play an important function in their ecosystem. For example, lizards control insects and pests in homes and gardens, while snakes keeps rodents under control in urban life and countryside. The way reptiles adapt to their environment also allows them to create defense behaviors in fights. The way reptiles adapt to their environments allows them to create defensive behaviors in fights to reproduce, hunt for their food, or anticipate a dangerous situation. So with this, we shall end today's commemoration. Thank you everyone for joining us. So we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which will be raised in the form of polls. The feedback form has been raised. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form before you leave the platform. See you all tomorrow at the same time at 6 o'clock with the same joining link with a different topic. Take care. Good night. And happy Navaratri to all of you.